Elocution is the study of formal speaking in pronunciation, grammar, style, and tone. History. In Western classical rhetoric, elocution was one of the 5 core disciplines of pronunciation, which was the art of delivering speeches. Orators were trained not only on proper diction, but on the proper use of gestures, stance, and dress. Elocution emerged as a formal discipline during the 18th century. One of its important figures was Thomas Sheridan, actor and father of Richard Brinsley Sheridan. Thomas Sheridan's lectures on elocution, collected in Lectures on Elocution and his Lectures on Reading, provided directions for marking and reading aloud passages from literature. Another actor, John Walker, published his 2-volume Elements of Elocution in 1781, which provided detailed instruction on voice control, gestures, pronunciation, and emphasis. With the publication of these works and similar ones, elocution gained wider public interest. While training on proper speaking had been an important part of private education for many centuries, the rise in the 19th century of a middle class in Western countries led to great interest in the teaching of elocution, and it became a staple of the school curriculum. American students of elocution drew selections from what were popularly deemed speakers. By the end of the century, several speaker texts circulated throughout the United States, including McGuffey's New Juvenile Speaker, the Manual of Elocution and Reading, the Star Speaker, and a popular Delsarte Speaker. Some of these texts even included pictorial depictions of body movements and gestures to augment written descriptions. The rhetorical era of the elocution movement, defined by the likes of Sheridan and Walker, evolved in the early and mid-1800s into what is called the scientific movement of elocution, defined in the early period by James Rush's The Philosophy of the Human Voice and Richard Whately's Elements of Rhetoric, and in the later period by Alexander Melville Bell's A New Elucidation of Principles of Elocution and Visible Speech. Sample curriculum. An example of this can be seen in the table of contents of McGuffey's New Sixth Eclectic Reader of 1857. Principles of Elocution. I. Articulation. 2. Inflections. 3. Accent and emphasis. IV. Instructions for reading verse V. The voice. VI. Gesture. New Sixth Reader. Exercises in articulation. Exercise 1. The Grotto of Antiparus. Exercise 2. The Thunderstorm. Exercise 3. Description of a storm. IV. Hymn to the Night Wind. V. The Cataract of Lodore on inflection. VI. Industry necessary for the orator. 7.